Top Billin.
All right, Top Billin back at it again. Another Think Like a GM video for the Seattle Seahawks. And remember, I'm thinking like a GM, but I'm thinking as myself. My goal in this is to give you guys beyond the guys, if you get what I'm saying. I want to work my own draft philosophy because guess what? No matter what you do in a draft, your draft prep, you think you're some type of draft Nick or whatever like that, 99% of the time it's not going to go how you expect it to go. And every year you guys have 50 first dates like the movie, right? You forget that. So you think that everything is cut and dry, or you think everything is tried and true because you read some mock draft, right? You're actually reading mock drafts before there's even free agency. Keep that in mind, right? When you guys are reading analysis from people, and there has not even been Senior Bowl. There hasn't been combine, medicals, or anything of the sort. You're early on in the process, and you're talking and speaking definitively, right? You're speaking in absolutes. There's no absolute about a draft. You can go back history, right? You don't got to go back long. Remember when Jerry Jeudy was the greatest thing since sliced bread coming out of Alabama? He was the greatest route runner, this and that. He was going to destroy the NFL. He was going to be the first wide receiver drafted. People were putting down other wide receivers to prop him up and everything like that. How did that work out? He wasn't the first wide receiver drafted. He's definitely not the best wide receiver in his own draft class. That would go to Justin Jefferson, who was the best wide receiver in all of football, who I said was the man, right? Who I said back then. I thought he was better than Jamar Chase. I was, right? I was the only person to ever say that, I believe, right? However, I won't say he's better than Jamar Chase. They're probably each other's equal. But if you ask most of the people back then when I said that and when I made all that material on Justin Jefferson, they said that Jamar Chase was way better than him. It's a draft, people, right? They're mitigating factors, all kinds of stuff that go into it. So don't be fixated on one player, right? And have an open mind. All you guys, I notice, I'm not all you guys. I'm only speaking to who I'm speaking to. A lot of you guys adhere to groupthink. If someone does a video on somebody, right, that's what I'm told. People will do a video on, say, like a Trenton Simpson or Tyree Wilson. And all you guys will say, Tyree Wilson, Trenton Simpson. You will put down all the other draft picks. Suppose you guys don't get those guys. It is a draft. There's 31 other teams, right? Chances are you probably won't get who you think you're going to get. You better be doing your due diligence on everyone and having an open mind, because even the guy you think is going to be the best player in the draft at a certain position, he's going to have someone that's his equal. He may even have someone who surpasses him. That's why the draft to me is all about value. Value beyond the guy who you think is the best. Value beyond the position that you think that you need the most if it's not a line of scrimmage position. So that's what I always say. Top 10 is for quarterbacks, edge players. I would say 3 technique, 5 technique type. I would never draft a nose tackle in the top 10. I would never draft a center in the top 10. But there are exceptions, right? So I can't speak in absolutes, right? Let me go. Speaking in absolutes. There are exceptions to every rule. Maybe there's somebody who's just like, you know what, that guy's going to be the absolute truth. I'll do that. But, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, I'm not drafting running backs in the top 10 and all that. And I'm not doing off-ball linebackers in the top 10, no doubt about that. And I said it before. I probably would not draft an off-ball linebacker in the first round. That is a cut-and-dry position. Running back and off-ball linebacker, they're one and the same. Like, if you're like me, you started off as a running back. Then they saw value in your physicality or whatever it be, and they usually switch you to the defensive side of the ball. Most linebackers have running back in their background. Those positions is like running back and it's like wide receiver and cornerback. You'll see a lot of flexibility and interchanging of those type of personnel guys, right? So I wouldn't do it. But if you look right here with Seattle, right? So we'll get back to the 5th pick. On subsequent videos. I told you I'm going to be doing a decent amount of these Think Like a GM drawings, so relax. You don't got to pitch any scenarios to me. I will more than likely get to them all. Now, the 20th pick here. Now, if you most of us are in agreement that you would go line of scrimmage player right there on defense, right? I would not do edge player, right? Miles Murphy, Tyree Wilson, all these guys, I don't see dedicating more resources to edge when you just had Darrell Taylor, who you drafted a few years ago, go for 9.5 sacks in a timeshare, right? Bruce Irvin was playing most of the time, and he still went for 9.5 sacks. What happens, right? Maybe Bruce Irvin was that guy to light a fire under him, even for them bringing in Bruce Irvin, or for Bruce Irvin being in that locker room and being able to get in his ear. Absolute perfect mentor right there, Darrell Taylor with Bruce Irvin on the roster. What happens if he's the guy? He might be a 15-sack guy. You don't have to have 35 edge players, right, to get the job done. You already got Nwosu. He's the man. No doubt about that. To me, he's the best edge player, or at least most well-rounded there. Darrell Taylor may be the more natural pass rusher because Nwosu played a lot more snaps, or it would appear that he did. I'd have to go and check that. But yet they still produce the same amount of sacks. Then you already drafted Boye Mafe with a fairly high pick. He has to play as well. You're going to keep drafting edge players. Who's going to play? There's only so many snaps to go around at one position. Unless it's interior defensive line and you're going to deploy 3 of them. But you're only going to deploy 2 edge players. You don't deploy 3 edge players unless it's on money downs and stuff like that. So then if you did, you would just bring in Mafe, or you would just bring in Taylor, right? It depends on who's the starter there. You going one more? I don't know. But if they did, that's their team. That's what it is. Maybe they figure that whomever's an edge player, would it be Will Anderson, Miles Murphy, or Tyree Wilson and these guys like that. Maybe they feel they're just a cut above. I don't know. I personally wouldn't do it if I was running Seattle. So I would have to go with an interior defensive player at that particular point. And if it's not Jalen Carter, I suggested Gervon Dexter. If a lot of you like, oh, because I read some other clown, some draftnik clown who's doing this shit way before the process starts, I don't think he's worthy enough to be a top 10 pick or whatever. Cool, that's cool, whatever like that. Maybe he is there at the 20th pick. So if you were to kind of double up, maybe somehow you got Jalen Carter and then got Gervon Dexter as well. That would be crazy. But I'm just saying, there's a whole bunch of different scenarios that you could do. At the 20th selection, I also suggested a wide receiver because I figured that wide receiver is one of those premium positions that you would want to grab someone earlier. But then obviously you got to have these dumbasses, these cornball draft people. I said something about Rashee Rice. I like Rashee Rice, right? Rashee Rice. I don't have to like what everybody else likes or think about it in that position. If that's the guy that's good for Seattle and he's there, why not? You don't know if nobody's going to be better than somebody else because of what they did in college or how you perceive them to be in college. So you got to always think about that there. But beyond that, man, it could be Rakim Jarrett, Kayshon Boutte, all these guys right there. They just need another 1B receiver. I'm not saying replace DK Metcalf. You need someone who you feel could be his equal just in case something happened to him. But I feel like you need that type of physical presence anyway. It needs to be a bigger type receiver who can create yards after the catch. So if it's already someone on the roster, cool. If it's Derek Young or whomever like that, Melton and these guys, cool. I don't see it that way. I would draft somebody. But it is what it is on that front. Now, I'm still not sold on taking a off-ball linebacker at 20. But right here, 38, that's the wheelhouse right there. If Noah Sewell is available at 38 and at 20 you got whomever you got and then you got whomever you got at 5, I don't see how you don't absolutely nail that draft. Noah Sewell is that dude. I think he's the best off-ball linebacker in this draft. Matter of fact, let's check out a few plays here. Now, Noah Sewell, right, got a chance to see this cat work at camps. He is physically impressive. He would be the most physically impressive Seattle Seahawks linebacker. And I'm talking about from a size standpoint. Having this man, I believe when he was checking in college, he was like over 260 pounds. But you can't tell. His body type, the way he carries it, his speed, his agility, his ability to work in reverse, his striking ability, His ability to think the game through, his patience at the line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, check this out right here. Seattle needs someone who can work through sanitation, right? You got to be able to play in traffic. My man right here has no problem with that. Look at this. You trying to get bodies on him? Nope, it doesn't matter. Look who emerges still. How many times have you seen Jordan Brooks, right? How many times have you seen, like, as much as you like Jordan Brooks, these guys get caught up in traffic like you wouldn't believe right here. Noah Sewell, he does not have them problems. He's going to emerge from traffic. He can work it head on, pause. Anything you can think of, it does not matter, right? And he was playing, let's see, situation right here. They were playing with a more of a four-man front before, right? Remember, they had a coaching change. He did not have as productive of year as he had the prior year. His sophomore year was lights out. That's first round pick type material right there, what he put in. Maybe not this year, so maybe that's why you can get him at a 38. They switched. They had the Georgia co-defensive coordinator come in, and they switched the scheme up. He did not have the same type of production, but maybe that works out in Seattle's favor there. You can see right here his ability to approach the line of scrimmage here. Look at him. Always staying square to the line of scrimmage, right? He wants to work with inside shoulder force. He wants to force everything back to traffic if necessary there. But you can see him right there. Look at that. Lineman climbing up on him. It doesn't matter. He meets the lineman, boom. Pops his head up at the top like Jack in the Box, right? Gets beyond that, and he's coming out the trash right there. He's a first responder, all EMT team, John. He's in there. All right, see your man right there. Now look, you're going to have a big-ass offensive lineman uncovered, work with him or work against him, and it does not matter. Look at this. Block a tie out. It don't matter, bro. Right? He's not afraid. He's going to stay parallel to the line of scrimmage. Right? A lot of people right now, how many times did I show Cody Barton and these guys when it's time to meet the moment of truth, they will completely turn their body to kind of absorb the contact. Right? He doesn't do that. He stays parallel, working off this block right here. Is going to his outside arm anyway, but it's all good. But watch how he stays parallel in the line of scrimmage, to the line of scrimmage. Look at the base width here. Look at the head on the outside. Look at him strike a pretty big running back right there. Stone him in the hole, right? Stonewall Jackson his ass, and then Splakataya. He's the guy manning that bad boy right there, working for it. Look at this. Splakataya. Listen, Brooks, what, 240 or 6 foot 240 or something like that? I think Cody Barton, like 235 pounds. Seattle needs a different type of linebacker. You can't keep going with the same 230-something pound linebackers and expecting different results. You need somebody who can stack and shed some damn blocks, man. Noah Sewell, over 250-something pounds, at least I believe. We'll see when he gets to the combine. That's why I say the combine, measurables, and all that shit haven't even happened yet. Some guys are going to be a lot smaller than you think. Some guys may be even bigger than you think, pause. And that's how you go from there. So we shall see, but I believe him to be that type of body type that Seattle needs. And remember, he's versatile. You talk about just quickness as well, being able to skirt around box. Look at him get there and striking. Oh, nope. Look at that. Running the motherfucker down like a wild animal. Look at this shit. My man tried to run. There wasn't nothing to it but to do it right there. Chasing that man down right there. Getting downhill and then being able to get his prey. This might be my favorite John right here. This is encapsulate what he's about right here. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Stone the offensive lineman and then go chase down the prey. Look at that. Right? Him and Mace Funa working together off this tackle. And look, Funa strikes him. But when Sewell strikes him, watch this. Bang! Right there, you can see it. He's asleep. He's out on his feet, right? You can see him staggering backwards right there. He lost control of his nervous system and everything. So he discards him, right? He just so happens to wake Buck back up at the end though enough to try to see what's going on. But you can see him searching right here, right? Sifting, forcing it to the outside right there. And then look at this. Running that man down at the line of scrimmage, making line of scrimmage plays. Far too many times people making plays and linebackers and people looking at tackle stats, but the tackles are 15 yards down the field. Fuck out of here, man. You either make at or beyond the line of scrimmage. Just beyond the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Look at him with the weak side pursuit here. Look at this. What happens? When he strikes, notice the running. Ooh, what just happened right there? Oh, no. This man's an animal. Look at him. Strike head on the outside, then wraps both hands around his waist. You know what time it is right now. It's time for the last ride. It's the last ride of this man's career because he suplexed him and splat. You see it right there. What was that man thinking while he was in there? I know what he's thinking afterwards, though. Look, splat tire. Tricks are for kids. He knocked him back to his childhood with that. Come on, man. You guys need a physical presence like that. A guy who, when he strikes, it's dead on arrival. You don't need a cat, you know what I'm saying? They dragging Cody Barton ass about another 8-9 yards, right? He's holding on for dear life. You need a striker. All right, look at the technique right here. Look at him, right? Approach the line of scrimmage, stay parallel, then shuffle his way back into the play, and then strike. See him approach the line of scrimmage, right? Forcing it back inside. Look at him stick those feet in the ground right there, and then he literally shuffles his way. Look at him. He's still parallel. The linebacker over here, the running back over here, he's still parallel, working each gap. He is gap sound, practices gapsiness, not in another man's gap. Look at that. Once he struck him, it was over. All right. Here we go right here. You can see him approach the line of scrimmage. Watch him approach and then sift. Stand parallel to the line of scrimmage, and then when he strikes, it's over. Look at that. I want you to look at the technique right here, right? He's approaching. He wants to make sure that this run is forced back into traffic. You can see him right here. And look, offensive lineman gets on him. Doesn't matter, right? He stays parallel. He's working with that. He's not concerned about any offensive lineman. You can see him stand parallel. Look at that. He went through each gap. He searched through each gap, right? This man's perverted. He's looking in everyone's window. Every gap he's looking in right there. Look at him. He's still parallel to the line of scrimmage, looking right here, making sure that this man is not in each gap. And then he finally finds him. He's like, hey, look at him. There he is. There she is. Looking in everyone's window like a pervert. That's hard. This man is incredible. All right. Real men watch to the end and then comment. Look at him work pass pro right here. Oh, pass pro. Look at him work in pass coverage. Look at this. Bend it to the inside. Read the quarterback. Plucks. Oh. Then he fertilized the man. This man was stone cold frightened, right? He was petrified. He didn't want no parts of Noah Sewell. He puts his hands out and then gets that prison love and just turns backwards. Like, go ahead, man. He fertilizes him, gets him the hell out the way. Then look, he becomes a running back. Look at that, making people miss. Oh, spin moves on him, finishing with his elevated or changing the pad level on him. Look at the spin move right here. Oh, look at that athletic ability right here, running through on tackles and then finishing on his feet. Hey, listen, beyond him, of course, I would consider him a 1A, 1B with Trenton Simpson. That's just my personal evaluation of the linebackers. But there's more guys outside of those guys, right? If we're talking about actual stout linebackers, I would say Sewell would be the guy. Iowa has a guy. I forget his name off the rip right now. Real big guy, man. 6'5" cat. He can get it in there. Drew Sanders at Arkansas, another tall cat, may need to put on a little bit more weight, but he can work off and on the line of scrimmage probably equally as well. He is definitely somebody to pay attention to for sure. I'll have something on him soon. Micah Baskerville at LSU as a really good player. He's played a lot of ball. He plays a lot of really good ball. Owen Papo at Auburn. Many people probably aren't paying attention to him. He's going to have an explosive combine. He's not one of these guys that's going to be a size freak or anything like that. But we called him the freak. Well, I've known him a long time. He's going to be explosive. He can run, right? So if you want to stack linebackers, maybe get a couple of them. Maybe you could grab a cat like Owen Papo in the 4th, 5th round or something like that. If he's there, there's a whole bunch of ways you can go with this, man. So it should be great, man. Keep it locked right here to your boy, Mid-Atlantic Murph. Speaking of the Mid-Atlantic, you want to see how somebody does some defense. 2 great defensive teams playing a championship weekend right here in Philly, baby. We get it in. Fly Eagles. And you want to see some really good defensive line of scrimmage play. The 49ers and the Eagles. Make sure you check that out. I absolutely cannot wait. I will be right there. Right there. All right. It's your boy Mid-Atlantic Murph. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you tip your waiter, man. You know your boy be giving that hibachi. Hit that thanks button, tip your waiter, and we in there like swimwear, all right? Salute. Strike the band.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.